Sure thing.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to It is normally I look to my right, and Holly's there to tell me. I don't know what the first start again. What where do we at?
46.
Oh, okay, 46.
With Jake's prepared, he's got it written down.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Hawaii.
Huawei.
That's it.
We'll come back.
We'll come back to that.
Come back to that. I can't wait for this bit.
Hawaii in Hawaii. Oh dear me.
Oh,
Good morning,
have some
good
fun
evening,
with
good afternoon, and welcome to episode 46 of BDA Chat. Joining me this week, we've got we've got a new timer. We've got a first timer on the podcast. It's Jake. Jake's our web guy from BDA. We've got a couple
Good
of them.
afternoon. Pleasure to be here.
It's Jake. Jake. I was going to say. I don't know why I was going to say. But anyway,
You're going to go the snake, weren't you?
I don't know. Just Jake. Oh, let's just start again.
Jake.
Why do we need surnames? I keep thinking that we need surnames, but we don't.
I struggle with my surname.
I just like Jake Wilson Smith.
Do we stop that and restart that?
No,
or is it okay?
Just start again.
Okay, ready? Should we clap?
Yeah, come on.
Episode 46. Episode 46.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to episode 46 of BDA Chat. Now, those eagerly-eyed will have noticed that we're joined by two new members on the podcast this week. We've got first-timer, we've got Jake from our web team at BDA, and we've got another new timer, first time on the show. It's Mr. Rob. I was going to say Humphreys, but no, it's Jarvis.
Still there.
You do this... This, we're not recording that. You do it every week, yeah? And I'm not a first timer. I've been on this podcast for about 3 years.
Right, let's start again. Last time.
You're an absolute piece. Wait. Sorry, Holly, when you edit this. Lee's having a moment.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
That was too quick after the clap. Okay, wait. You clap. I'll clap.
You clap.
Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to episode 46. It's my favourite time of the week.
46.
Episode 46 of BDA Chat. Eagle Eyes will have noticed that we've got two new people on the podcast. We've got first timer Jake. Welcome to Jake. Jake
Good
is from our
afternoon,
web
pleasure
team.
to be here.
Yep, welcome
Hi there, Jake.
And we've got another new timer. First time on the show. I don't know how he's going to get on.
I've been away. I've been on the show for quite a while.
Have you?
I'm not sure.
All right, that's it. I'm going to walk out.
First time on the show. It's Rob.
Oh, he's gone.
And it was the shortest episode ever.
He's actually gone.
He's
He
gone.
might not come back.
So this week on BDA Chat,
Yeah.
we're going to be talking about 5G. Basically, there's the future of mobile.
Oh, he's back. We better wait for him.
He's back.
The door's locked.
Are
Carry on.
staying? Are we staying? Are we
The
carrying?
door's locked. I'm locked in. Let's go.
Okay. So this week we're going to talk about the future of mobile. Basically, I don't know if anyone's heard, but there was a massive conference in Hawaii where basically Samsung, Huawei, and sorry, I forget this one wrong. Is it Xiaomi?
Xiaomi? Yeah, Xiaomi.
That's it. I got it right
Yeah.
first time.
So,
Sounds about right.
Huawei in Hawaii.
Hawaii
and Samsung.
in Hawaii, Samsung and Xiaomi or
Oh, yeah.
Xiaomi.
Okay.
That's 3 for 3. Basically, we're just talking through, showing off the new future tech, basically, with the main focus around 5G. But we'll get to 5G in a sec because he's just popped out to get his notes because it's his first time on, so he's a bit rusty. So Rob's
sat here.
going to take us through some of the. What are you going to take us through? Some of the stats,
Yeah.
the mobile stats.
I think to know...
Of 2018.
Yeah, 2018. I think to kind of know where mobile's going, we need to know where it is right now. So I'm going to be the stat man for just a couple of minutes. If I'm boring, you're going to have to say.
No, well, no. Look, we'll be gentle with you. It's your first time on.
So, let's just set the scene a little bit. So in 2015, for the first time, mobile internet traffic surpassed desktop. So in 2015, we officially moved into the mobile era.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I've got some little bits of stats, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What are you smiling? We're not getting on today. So, so just some quick fast stats to set the scene. Yeah, and then we'll move on and look to the future. In 2018, 52.2% of all worldwide online traffic was generated through mobile.
Wow.
Big stat.
It was quite big.
What about email on mobile? Well, this is a US stat, but 61% of all email opens are on mobile in the US.
What about replies?
Open rate.
Yeah, well, I don't know about replies. You always do this. This is
They open it but just don't reply.
interesting stats. Here's a fun one for you. Ready?
We like a fun one.
Almost a third of Americans would rather give up something for a year than give up their mobile phone.
That's harsh. That is harsh.
Any ideas?
Well,
I've
we've
picked one thing.
got to pick. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm asking. Any ideas?
Sex.
Oh.
We have a winner.
They'd rather give up sex for a year than have their
A
mobile
third of
phone.
Americans then give up their phone. That was interesting. We've seen mobile searches beginning with best absolutely skyrocket. Skyrocket.
Skyrocket.
Skyrocket. Oh God, we're doing so well.
Skyfall. Spyfall.
On Google. Fuck.
Oh, there goes
hang
our
on.
friendly podcast rating.
We're gonna. This is.
See, look,
Put a rating on there, 12 rating.
first time on the show and the F bombs here. You just can't get the stuff.
There goes the family audience.
Mom. Carry on with your stats.
No, stop it. It's
I've-
rubbish. It's rubbish. This ain't working.
some
They're
more.
boring stats.
No, they were good. Do you know that do you know what the most common searched item is on mobile? Search criteria.
Where?
Near me.
No. Food and beverages.
Near me.
No, just well, in general, just food.
Okay.
People search for food. It would probably be takeaways. You're probably right. To be fair,
Mm.
where is the nearest takeaway?
Yeah,
Blah blah blah.
pub.
But apparently that's and although you say that mobile's taking over, apparently mobile and tablet rule the morning and the evening, but desktop is still the king of the mobile, king of the web rather
In the daytime.
in the daytime
Do you know why?
because you're at work.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
browsing. It's
You're
just
browsing at work,
working,
isn't you? Yeah, so apparently mobile is up there, but it's not king yet. But saying that, most apparently, have you seen? I think I saw the BBC the other day that retailer worried footfall on high streets is down
Yeah.
massively.
Yeah, but that Black Friday doesn't help that.
Black
It's
Friday,
straight for their
apparently,
money.
Black Friday apparently is pushing people the other way into. It obviously has. It's pushed more onto online sales more than ever this year.
Mm.
But even I think the rumours are that from early numbers are suggesting that even Black Friday sales are down.
Oh really?
Early.
Yeah,
feedback.
that surprises me. It
But
just seems
it-
to get bigger and bigger,
well,
particularly in the
And
UK.
they do it differently. They spread it over the week or two.
I
It's still
suppose that's
going.
probably the
And then
thing,
the
isn't it?
cyber thing. So
Yeah,
it
you
I
got-
depends.
had Cyber Monday called Green Monday the other day. I don't know.
What green?
I don't know. Maybe I was got my wires crossed somewhere. But yeah. So yeah, mobile is definitely key. And I guess plus I've heard that in terms of developing mobile, a lot of transactions start on a phone, but will finish on a desktop.
Big ticket items, especially.
Yeah.
'Cause you wanna do
Definitely,
that
yeah.
comparison. You try and compare multiple websites on your phone. It's really
impossible.
difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on a desktop, you can have all your screens open. You can actually
Yeah.
read the finer detail. And
Um,
most of that browsing is done when you're commuting a lot of the time, especially on the
Yeah,
train, or
yeah.
you've got that dead time,
Mm.
isn't it? If you go into a dentist or any waiting room, I think that's probably where a lot of the browsing's happening. It's all those habits.
yeah, it's when you've got
So
those
dead
downtime.
space.
It's
So
dead
dead
space.
space.
Exactly. You're
Mm.
just filling dead space. Not the computer game.
No.
With basically, browsing things, especially with the Christmas season or anything really.
Yeah,
it's just filling that time.
your prime time TV and the ads,
Yeah.
it spikes. Mobile internet usage absolutely spikes. Like
Well, plus
you're
if
watching
you're
X Factor, the adverts come on. You're not watching the adverts anymore. You're doing your bit of browsing.
Yeah.
You might even
Or
be
you
interacting with the show
social media,
via
yeah,
Twitter,
yeah,
or something like that. So yeah, there's some very key traits that you see.
But you have to when designing. I mean, when we design web, Jake will fill in more here when you Jake
I will.
design a web.
Yeah.
But it's not just a case of starting with mobile first. It's a case of making web responsive that it works on both platforms.
Of course.
All those habits.
Yeah. Not so you just have one mobile. But how do you start with that, Jake? What's the
Content
process?
is key, and what really bugs me if I go to a website on different devices where they hide or they'll remove certain copy or content.
Yeah.
So I want a seamless experience when I'm going from the web to my mobile.
Yeah.
That's one that really key for me is having that sync between those two devices.
Yeah, you want consistency, don't you?
Yeah.
You want to go from one to the other and
It's
not
just
like,
always
where's that
something.
feature gone that I was using on my desktop? It's not there anymore on my mobile.
Or when sometimes you're trying to fill out a form
Yeah.
and the button or the submit button or whatever the next step is hidden because it's on a mobile device and they've moved it around
Yeah.
drastically.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, hang on, this is
That's another point. Like accordions on forms, we've had it before where it gives you the impression there's so many steps when really the next step might only have one question.
Yeah.
Accordion. What's an accordion? Is
You've
that
got like multiple steps. So step 1, you fill out these
Oh.
fields. Step 2, and you click next. But sometimes it can feel like it's never ending.
Yeah, completely.
Right.
Completely.
Does that change then between mobile?
You see,
and
yeah, some people, it could do because people try and keep it all in one page, or that feel that is seamless. But actually, it adds a barrier to a lot of people. You look at the stats, and there's a lot of drop off.
Mm.
If you see there's a multiple step process, people just drop off. People can't
Yeah, I
follow.
must. Well, it goes back to what we were saying about Black Friday, in that when you've a lot of people dropping off of the cart process, in that if you say, oh yeah, you know, most of online sales, especially around Black Friday, was impulse. But then if you put a problem of okay, you've got to fill in like multiple registration.
Yeah, it's a
forms,
barrier.
You're just putting barriers. in.
Massive barriers.
That's,
And people just go, oh no, do you know what? I'll do this later. Or like a lot of it, and that goes back to prove the earlier point, is that a lot of people say, I don't really want to be filling in forms on a mobile. I'd rather, if I'm going to fill in a form, I'd rather do it maybe on my desktop that's got autofill maybe. I mean, to be fair, mobiles have autofill as well now. But, so yeah. So
yeah,
putting
it's
those
different on
barriers-
the habits. The Black Friday has highlighted, like you said, the impulse buying, but also the trends of people getting like free delivery. Like so many,
Yeah.
it's like I think it's like 50% maybe is returned. People are either impulse buying because it's a deal, they'll just buy it
Yeah.
and just return it. But also, if you spend a certain amount, you will often get free delivery. So people are intentionally buying something that they know they're going to return. Buy for free delivery.
Exploiting the system.
Yeah.
Have you seen any sites then that you could recommend as say, yeah, this has been implemented really well between? Because Rob, you work a little bit in this field as well, don't you?
A little bit, yeah. I dip in and out from time to time. I think, for instance, and not to blow our own trumpets, but the Michael Graham site, and I know we talk about quite a lot recently, but it won an award for mobile excellence.
Mm-hmm.
And what we see with estate agents, I think their mobile traffic was something like 80% of their traffic is on mobiles.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously that mobile experience is really important for them. And we know there's stats out there like for the first 3 seconds are imperative, the performance of your page.
Yeah.
For them, for every second after those 3 seconds, you can potentially see a 12% drop off if your site isn't loading. So it's critical that obviously, we've spoken about like some of the interface elements there, but actually you get that performance right. That you're not creating load on those pages. You want them to be zippy. When you're on the mobile, people are often on the move. They're doing it when actually we've only got a small space of time. So again, you want to be catering for that.
Well, it's not just the time; it's the data as well. Which at the moment,
completely.
If you're on 4G,
Yeah,
you're okay. Normally, you can load a page pretty quick. 3G, and if you're on that Edge, if you've been on Edge, is that a thing even? Does that still exist? Edge?
Yeah.
That's just like literally just forget it.
Oh, you mean like E? Yeah.
You're lucky if you can get sort of GPS.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a good example from our perspective, one we did recently is michaelgraham.co.uk. Jake's worked on it, Joe upstairs has worked on it, the team's worked on it, and it won the award on awards site for mobile excellence, where it's judged by a panel about speed, interface, usability, etc., etc. And it topped the list, and it's got a nice big award. So that's a really good example of something we've done. But in this day and age, I just think it's so important. The stats speak volumes for how many people are browsing on mobile. We got to make sure we're not just optimizing for speed, but we're creating that user experience.
Awesome. And so when you go back to Michael Graham, I guess, then how did you break that process down in terms
A lot of it
making
looks at
it
usability
work?
as well. So the Google will look at things like button placements, text sizes, distances between buttons, because obviously you're using your fingers to press the buttons. They look at all of that, the markup of the language, so your HTML markup, they look at your structure, as well as the page speed. Look at image optimization. If your styling, your CSS sheets are all nicely compressed. They look at a varied set of assets and mark you and score you against it. There's not many on awards that actually have that certificate.
Oh, awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
And in terms of, are there any other sites out there that people could look at in terms of, this site is great on a desktop and it's seamless between the two?
Well, I'll tell you one that, and this is a really random one for me, but the BBC, right? It's a text-heavy website, lots of news, lots of different videos, etc., etc. And to take all that information and put it on a mobile device and display it in a way that keeps that consistency that Jake spoke about is a massive task on a site like that. But they do it. It feels still like very much the same website, but again, they just make it very usable. I think the BBC, it's not pretty. It never has been. It's very functional, but they do it very well.
They look at a lot of different standards as well. They look at accessibility. They look at font sizes.
Completely.
They look at colours,
Contrasts.
Contrast. So they're setting against different
criteria.
Yeah, exactly. But I do struggle with it on the app with their long stories.
Yeah,
and they don't quite work on the app.
Yeah,
it's still an easy read, but it's not as easy.
I find the BBC Sport app is quite. I love the way that works in terms of it goes. You got your hamburger, you got your menu. It seems to work very. It doesn't work the same as the desktop version, but all the content is there, and you by the layout of it, you can figure out roughly where everything is.
Yeah.
They follow like your expectation, like you said, a hamburger menu. You have an expectation that menu is a hamburger menu. You know what it is. You know they put it where you expect it to be.
Well, I suppose because they've got so much content. How else would you? It'd be impossible because the desktop version has drop down. Whereas on mobile, well, on the app anyway, the BBC Sport app, which in theory is just the mobile version, just in an app.
Yeah, everything is where you said. Where you
Yeah, completely.
Although I did notice the other day, I was on BBC website, and it clicked. Do you want to try the new version?
Yeah, I love it how they do that.
And I clicked it, and it's no different.
Well, no, because that's the changes that they make are so small. But they're always offering it to the user base to move straight to the beta version.
How do you know what you don't? I suppose if it's really broken, you'd know.
You would know, but the fact that it isn't broken, you're going, well, it's not much different. But there will be something somewhere that they've tweaked and they're testing out.
They're like A/B testing you.
Yeah. And they constantly, and I love how BBC do that. I think we can all learn a lot with websites about actually inviting your users to, well, do you want to have a quick go on the new site? Imagine some of the sites we've launched recently. It'd be great to offer them to say, if you want to click this button and, go and use it. But please be aware that there may be some, some issues or, there may be some things that aren't quite ironed out. But you get great user testing, great feedback. And it allows you probably to kind of wrap up that website and make some big decisions right in that critical phase, which is those final 10%.
I think the joy of mobile websites is that you cannot hide. I think in desktop versions you can hide, like where you've got usability issues, maybe where you've got certain navigational problems that aren't quite right, but you can get around them.
Yeah, the screen on the mobile is so small.
But I think
the margin of error is
you can't hide. Because I think the first thing you always know is that you'll go onto a website and you'll go, I kind of like this, and then you'll go on to. I'd say the one I have the biggest issue with is YouTube. I find YouTube a little bit on mobile, a bit confusing.
You don't have the app.
I have the app, and I still find it. I'll be searching for something on YouTube, and then I watch it.
Then you want to get back out.
Then I want to get back out,
and they make it so hard. You have to shrink it down to there, then slide it that way. I had this yesterday, and I was like, oh my goodness! I just want to get back to
the search bar.
I just want to go back.
How do I get back?
Yeah, it's convoluted.
Do you know what? The only way I managed to do it
just close the app.
Was to quit the app and start again. And you know what? I felt stupid. And then I felt like I don't like your YouTube app because you're making me feel stupid.
Yeah.
This cannot be that hard. Because all I typed in whatever was what I was looking for.
NFL. Let's be honest.
Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs, and watched some great touchdowns. And then I was like, but anyway, it just I've never known it's YouTube.
Yeah, owned by Google. Come on.
I know they're trying to be fancy with the little player in the bottom corner, which is nice, but that's just like
pain. You want to jump in and out. Do I like this video? Because you're doing a search in there and you're like, do I like this video? So you watch the first few seconds. Is it what I'm looking for? No, you want to jump out.
Yeah.
But they make it difficult.
And then the autoplay kicks in. And then you try and go back and you can't go back. Because the autoplay is taking you to another video. So before you know it,
and
you have to search. I've had to search again to find the video. Oh, I tell you what I really hate at the moment about web. Oh, it gets my goat. Oh, this one beats me right off.
Come on, I want to hear this, Lee.
Oh, this is bad. Right.
Dirty.
So, I like media and entertainment, and I went on the Empire website. So go on, Empire. I love your podcast, but go on the Empire website and click on an article, and you start to scroll down, and then you get a pop-up. And it says, if you want to continue they blur out the article. If you want to continue reading this article, please watch 2 seconds. 2 seconds, or maybe it might be 5, of the video.
Don't force your users to do this.
Like, what? And it makes you scroll back up. You then have to watch the 2 to 3 seconds, and then the article just appears. You don't have to click anything. The article then unscrambles itself. It's almost like when you're watching TV, and back in the day when you're not paying for Sky Sports and they scramble the channel.
Yeah, put your subscription card in.
You remember those days?
God.
Everyone was trying to put dodgy cards in.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't.
No.
And then you scrolled. I just thought, this is awful.
Yeah.
And I've noticed
more
sites.
Creative Review do the same. Forbes do the same.
Yeah.
Forbes are awful.
Great articles. These websites that you were mentioning are fantastic websites with great information, but they're putting these barriers. You said it at the top of the show. They're putting these barriers in place.
The difficulty is they want to try and monetize it.
Monetize.
Yeah, but it's
if they're not if you're not paying for it, they're going to do it with your data.
It's crazy. But I'm not even giving them any data. I can understand
if
it.
just sit and watch an advert.
You just have to sit and watch 2 seconds, which is like, What?
Yeah, it's bad.
So they've said to get that sponsor, they've said everybody will watch that. That's how they've got the money.
Yeah, like you're basically forcing me to go.
Yeah.
But already, whichever the content is, therefore that I'm watching, I don't like because you forced it to me. So therefore, it could have been anything. It could have been get a free bar of gold, and I'd be like, no, stupidly,
You're crazy.
crazy. But do you know what I mean? And it's like, scroll down. It's,
It just frustrates you.
But what they've worked out is behind that, because it is really good content. We're talking Forbes, we're talking Empire. There's a good trade-off there, and 9 times out of 10, a lot of people will sit and wait. You'll wait because you want that content.
I just want to read
and
the
again,
review.
it's that psychological trade-off,
like,
isn't it?
It's that industry though, isn't it? The newspapers are dying off. The Guardian have a little token thing now, don't they, about donating at the bottom and things like that. Yeah, a lot of them do that now.
Have you seen the actually? On the side note, have you seen the thing on Wikipedia now?
We make the donation one.
Yeah,
Is it via
It's
PayPal?
the first time I went to Wikipedia in
it
a
was
while,
really discreet.
it was
wasn't
discreet.
Yeah, now it's,
and it's
it must be
literally
getting desperate.
it's getting further and
Keep making
further
this bigger.
down the page. The text is getting bigger.
Subtlety's gone out the window.
It's like, it was like 1 minute it was like, please spare me 2 seconds of your time. Now it's like, you're gonna have to read this entire article before you give it. Yeah, I hate it when they do that. It's like,
what would you rather? Adverts, pop-ups. That's
I'd
trade-off,
rather-
isn't it? That's how the industry's looking.
but I don't know how. But why does it have to be? Empire. I mean, I don't know. If Empires, they sell a magazine. I would imagine there's. I'd rather if that's to put adverts on your site elsewhere. Like if you have to have a banner advert there, have a banner advert.
Yeah, non-intrusive.
But it's not. It's on the page. Yes, if I want to interact with it, I will. If it's something worthwhile.
Not completely.
Or just think
blocking
of more creative ways.
Yeah.
Don't block the
it.
content.
No.
You've just triggered something in my head, and I don't want to go off topic, but it's slightly off topic. Cookie policies, cookie
GDPR,
messages, privacy
goodness.
notices now. The mobile experience is cluttered with you just want to read that thing, but you're having to tick that and close that and accept that. And do you know, as much as it's trying to
It never
protect
goes away,
people's
though.
rights and data, it keeps coming
It
back.
keeps coming back. I keep clicking it. It's like, you have accepted. You have accepted. Yes, I agree. Yeah, okay. And then the next day,
When was
bang,
the last time
did.
you read what it was asking you to accept?
Never. You just accept. They could be saying you're agreeing to sell your kids, and and give up your right to freedom of speech, and you go, yeah, accept, because you just want to get on and read.
I'll give up sex for you. Yeah, there we go.
It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah. And on mobile, it's just a headache because you've got limited.
We need to
real
think of it.
estate
We need to come up
anyway.
with a show. We'll do a show in the future, maybe, of how to get around it.
Yeah.
What are the better? There must be better ways of monetizing or how to get. I mean, maybe it's just more creative ideas that the industry just needs.
I think so. I think that would make a great show. Just throwing some ideas out there of ways to get around this sort of just bombardment of tick this, say yes to that, and advertising,
Because
killing user experience.
The user, and I think that's the whole. I love user experience on mobile. It's so much more. You just feel more involved with it. I find I think that's why browsing on mobile and tablet is a much more enjoyable experience.
It's more personal, isn't it? You haven't got a big desktop. You haven't got to sit in a study at home.
Yeah, you can touch it with your finger.
Yeah.
And that's one of the most
Yeah.
natural human interactions. That's why kids pick up tablets faster than they've ever picked up
Yeah.
computers
Yeah.
and stuff, because it's the most natural
Yeah.
way to interact
Yeah.
with something.
But so yeah, I do think So anyway, moving on from mobile, we've got some 5G stats.
Hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha.
The hoo-ha of 5G.
So basically, 5G is coming. It's been demoed out in Hawaii. I think it's like I say Samsung, Huawei.
Huawei.
Oh, hang on.
Huawei.
There's
In
Huawei in Hawaii.
In Hawaii.
Wow, you pick a really difficult one.
I did, yeah. Sorry about that. So Samsung were out there with Xiaomi, Huawei, and basically they were displaying the new handsets, or some of the new handsets that are basically going to be coming out in, well, it is rumoured to be 2019,
Yeah.
but probably not. So for those that don't really, if you've been living under a rock and don't quite understand what 5G is, 5G is basically going to be about 10 to 100 times faster than 4G.
Yeah.
It's super quick responsive, which basically means this is going to change the way we live.
Completely.
Without doubt.
The fact that it's going to be used because the speed of the transfer rate of data is so quick that they're saying that you could basically. I was watching a video the other day in that they're basically saying that you could operate on a human. You could get a surgeon could demo it on basically then that data from the surgeon could be fed back to robotics, and the robotics could do exactly. They could mirror
With literally no lag.
No
Yeah,
lag.
there's got no latency.
With no latency.
Yeah.
Driverless cars. is going to happen, because basically there's going to be so much data going on that the cars can basically report all of the data, all the traffic information that's going around them.
I even saw an article about drone tractors.
Yeah.
So now it's so rural, they just can't transmit that data anywhere. I think it was John Deere researching, without zero latency, they can do drone farming with the tractors.
Tractors can just go off on their own.
Just crack on.
Yeah. It'd be like that Interstellar, wouldn't it? That's what they did in Interstellar. So basically, the reason that 5G can happen is because apparently we're going to be using a new wave of technology. So it's going to be transmitting on a new bandwidth frequency, which has never been used before, which is great. But this new bandwidth, it's got 2 Achilles heels.
Tell us, Lee.
Well,
what are they?
Apparently, it can't transmit through rain.
Really?
Oh, in England, that might struggle.
And it can't transmit through a building. It cannot penetrate buildings. So, how 5G is going to take off is basically you can only use it in rural areas, and if it's not raining.
Do you think they might put a receiver outside the building then?
Well, apparently what they're going to do is, because everyone's probably seen a 4G master, those big tall grey things. There's loads of Milton Keynes. The way around it is they're going to start putting out new masts. The beauty of them is that the new masts, 5G masts, are literally about a third of the size of the current masts. They're a lot smaller, but they've got to put more of them out there to basically get around the issue of buildings. And they're using environmental maps to basically assess the layout of the building and the geographical data.
Topography.
Yeah, that's the one.
Typography.
No, that's typography.
That's typography.
And they're basically going to put these masts. They're figuring out where to put these masts in rural areas and in built-up city areas, so that basically they can
maximum
get the signal
penetration.
And what they'll do is, when how to get around a building, they'll just use the transmitters as a relay system to basically relay the signal all around. So that's how they're going to do it.
Interesting. Good facts, Lee.
Whether or not it will hit us by 2019, I very much doubt.
I think I saw about 2020 of an initial rollout, most likely London.
Yeah.
Maybe with the likes of Birmingham, because I think they were first on 4G last time as well.
Oh, do you know what the worst place in the country to get 4G is? The worst place ever.
Buckingham?
No. Close. Same. Good letter. First letter.
Bedford.
No. You're close. Well, you're not close.
We could go on for a while. Brighton.
Ooh, you get really close.
Bournemouth.
Bang.
Okay, we knew we'd get there. I love these games.
Apparently that's the worst place to get 4G. They get nothing out there.
Really?
Nothing.
It's been forgotten.
They've just been forgotten.
Oh,
so they've slipped off So EE, Vodafone, and of course the 3 have all signed up to they've signed up a deal. Do you know how much that deal cost them to basically start on the 5G bandwagon?
Billion.
200 million.
You were close. 1.3 billion.
Oh,
each.
Wowzer. Each. Wowz.
To basically start working within the 5G bandwidth area. Apple, don't go expecting any phones from Apple in 2019. That's not going to happen. Apparently, due to the fact that Intel will not be releasing modem-ready 5G chips until 2020. So, if you want a 5G phone next year, OnePlus have said they're going to be the first. I don't know, OnePlus?
Huawei?
What is that?
Huawei.
In Hawaii.
Yeah.
So there you go, 5G.
I'll tell you what's interesting, because a lot of people, when you say these numbers, I don't think people can put it in their head just how quick it is.
Oh, sorry. Apparently it is.
It's about 1,000 times faster here.
They've basically, in Hawaii, they've done their first. Samsung have done some first set of tests. They've managed to achieve a throughput of data of 1.7 gigabits per second, or gigabits.
So for our media consuming people out there,
so they reckon that best case scenario for us will be 490 meg a second.
Yeah, based on that stat, and that's the stat I found. That means, so right now, if you're on your mobile phone using 4G and you want to download an HD movie, a high definition movie, you're talking, at the moment, you're probably talking, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes potentially to pull it down over 4G. On 5G, in under 7 seconds, you would be downloading a movie in HD. Downloading the full movie onto your phone.
So when it comes to streaming now, you probably see the habits of streaming.
Streaming, you won't notice, will you? Streaming.
No, instant. Even I was watching Netflix on the way back at the
weekend. To be fair, it's pretty instant now, to be fair. I mean,
but it's probably not quite HD at that point over stream. They will give you a lower quality.
And you've got to think like for streamers out there, they don't stream in 4K. It's too demanding. But it's going to open up the gateway to more 4K streams.
Well, 5G is going to open the gateway to a lot of things. They've been saying that basically one of the big ones is virtual reality, in that they'll now be able to wear virtual reality headsets will become completely wireless because they can just transmit the data so fast that there'll be nothing will need to be tethered anymore. So virtual reality is going to become a lot bigger than it currently is, because I think the one thing that's holding virtual reality back at the moment is the fact that you're stuck to it, the wires and
although Oculus Quest in April next year, self-contained, but the problem is this again, it gets bulkier.
So they'll probably
bulkier, but it will take away all that. So exciting.
It's all innovations, isn't it? A couple of years after that, there will be lots of...
Well, apparently, and it's not so much... I mean, I don't think 5G will change web browsing. It will change web browsing.
I think so. If you look at the speed, you could probably have higher resolution images. On mobile, you could probably have media queries, so you could show different images on a mobile device simply for the fact that you don't want high load times. But if you come to the 5G, then it's not a bigger factor. You can have high resolution images.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like at the moment, 4G is about 20 meg, 50 meg?
Yeah.
One thing this is going to be, obviously it's going to open the gateways to new apps, new types of services. At the moment, I think 4G has benefited mostly from photos in the cloud, and the fact that you can just you don't have to worry about where your photos go anymore. Well, you do, but you can just upload it to the cloud. As long as you're okay with that, then...
Yeah, of course. Cool, Google are going to process them, use it for their image recognition, and have a load of information about the world.
But your picture coming up on their capture as well. You see all traffic signs and cars. It's like people's pictures.
Oh, I hate them as well. Why do we still have them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to sign in. Yeah, okay, you want to sign in. Yeah, how many pictures can you see with vote? It's like, what?
Yeah, no,
stupid. So yeah, there's 5G. Whether or not it will be here, 2020, I think, is where they're going. Apparently, the 5G phones will. How much do you think a 5G phone is going to cost you?
£1,200.
I don't know about
an Apple one.
At
least. Because they're about £1,100 and £1,200 now, aren't they?
Of course they are.
The XS.
They're looking at $1,200 to $300 more. $200 to $300 more. Did I say 1,200?
Yeah.
So there we go. That is 5G. I think the biggest thing that 5G will affect, and no one's actually mentioned this, I think, is broadband. You know what I mean? If I sign up for like let's say now, I've got my phone, I've got my 4G data deal, unlimited, because now, remember back in the day when 4G, you get a gigabyte?
Yeah.
256 meg. Oh, you thought you were rich when you got 1 gig. Wow, 1 gig. Now, I remember blasting 10, that. 20, now it's unlimited.
A couple of YouTube clips and you've gone through that.
Yeah, it's just, so now it's going to be interesting. I reckon the cap will come back, because you've got a 5G and something like that. But what will happen is, because people will just abandon broadband.
Well, you won't have to worry about an Ethernet cable in your house. Make sure you've got a connection in your bedroom, your lounge, whatever, to get your. You've got wireless TV anyway, but you still.
Imagine every TV. The thing that what I love about when they do these new tech things is that everyone gets used to 4G. Then 5G comes on. Don't you not think sometimes it's just a way of getting us to go buy new gear again? Because then you need a 5G laptop. You need a 5G.
Well, that's the thing.
You need a 5G.
Like we're talking by 2020 it's going to be up and running. But by the time you've got to adopt all the hardware and that has got to catch up.
2020 in London. By the time it comes out to the other cities,
and it becomes mainstream where everyone's got devices that actually work on that. It will be another 5-6 years after that. So
because you know what will happen, don't you? You'll get 5G. They'll put it into your TV. They think, look at all this space for bandwidth. Do you know what you need now?
Oh yeah, bigger package for your bandwidth.
You need 8K.
Yeah,
you need 8K TV.
I need an 8K
TV now. It'd be like, I just love the way that one thing always pedals into the other. Just when you think you're catching up,
you'll never catch up with technology.
There's always another.
You'll never catch up. It's getting faster and faster, and it means the innovations will also happen quicker. You'll always be behind.
So that's 5G. Obviously, 2020 is going to be the earliest. And if you start seeing some masks going around, you know what they're about. It's going to be, I don't know, actually I have no idea what they look like.
Just a lot smaller.
But they're smaller.
Yeah, like Hobbit versions.
Probably black, I reckon.
Don't you think that's, no. Surely that's
like a grey, aren't they, at the minute?
Are they grey? Maybe they're grey.
Yeah.
But I think they have to have a different colour. Maybe they should be like
trees,
green
or
something.
Gold on them.
Little
trim.
They should make them sort of standard, or like maybe blue to blend in
with
the sky.
Yeah, like those big buildings, warehouse buildings that match the horizon. Yeah, great design for industrial buildings.
So, Jake, you've got a whole load of stats there, or
no?
Oh,
they are looking at they are looking at future
no
technology.
Stats.
Oh,
so we can seamlessly go to your next segue. you were talking about future technology, I think, on mobile as well.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking at, touching on what you said about AR, augmented reality, looking at that e-commerce experience, probably the product placement. You see it, it's been around for a little while now, but I think you find with the new smartphones, you've got AR coming in, especially with Apple phones and Samsung phones, you'll probably see that being utilised a lot more.
What, with 5G, you mean?
It could be 5G as well, but just generally that technology now is ever increasing in mobile devices. Yeah. That's that one. That's what that is.
Oh, that's it.
Do you want to go through more tech things? You can add anything to it.
Go through your tech
So
thing.
the next thing it looks at...
Is this Jake's Tech Corner? This is like
I
Jake's
can
little...
take that corner.
Yeah, we can. This is Jake. Well, welcome to
Tech Corner.
Tech Corner with Jake.
Jake Rickard Wilson.
He's even got a little intro drum set there.
So the next thing, I was looking
No
at...
rhythm whatsoever.
Let's just cut him up there, ain't you?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, should we
Jeez.
start
Sorry.
again?
Start again.
Do I need another drum roll?
Well, you might as well.
No.
See if you can.
Better.
Oh, that was much better. That was
Much better.
So then I was looking at... The biggest issue now is I've got an iPhone and I have to wrap it in a great big case, to keep the kids away.
An iPhone. Oh, I've done it again.
Oh, F-bomb.
We'll beep them out.
Yeah. It's an iPhone 6S, so it's old. But I've got a great big case on it. So I was looking at the durability on handsets and the increased use of the hardened glass you see on the screens now.
Which isn't that hard.
No, you probably won't want to drop it still.
You still, even though they make it's bulletproof.
So then that went on to foldable screens.
Yeah,
the increased tech of foldable screens.
Yeah, a lot of Samsung and
looking at
LG
it now.
really pioneering it.
Yeah, so you might see the shapes of phones completely changing.
Well, yeah,
you could fold it up, put it in your pocket, sort of like a scroll.
Which stuff is a wristband that goes around your just goes around your wrist and you got one.
Could well be.
Yeah.
So that is the Apple Watches could well be that.
Well, Samsung have done it because haven't they got their
the bendy phone in your pocket job.
they've got their wallpaper TVs.
Yeah, the wallpapers.
Literally.
Because they can transmit now through that film, can't they? That's what it is. They can put a current through it. That's why they can get away with it.
So they're super expensive.
Good knowledge.
But that's the. You can see that's the way things are going, and it's great because it means that then, from an advertising point of view, it means that there's more video content can be displayed in
5G
in different areas.
Yeah.
You only have to go down to a shopping mall, and you notice. I keep catching that. It's really amazing. And you've just got a lot more sort of like advertisement areas now. It wasn't, not before it used to be like bus shelters, but now there's like little video display pop-ups everywhere. And as much as I hate websites when they force feed me content, when I'm walking around doing a bit of shopping, if I see I'm more likely to take those sorts of things in.
It's different.
Because it's different, it's eye-catching. You think, and then I start looking at it from an animation sort of or creative sort of way, thinking, have they done that? I don't know, kind of works, but.
And the faster data will also mean more personalisation. Yeah, in those elements we might see real time coming into those more and more. Again, because you haven't got those constraints. So again, I think we could see a massive shift in that.
Exciting times, but just
How excited are you, Lee, on a scale of 1 to 10?
I haven't used any. Although I started to use Alexa. No, I haven't got Alexa yet. Siri. I've used Siri a bit more.
Yeah.
Yep. And I used a chatbot the other day. So I'm moving. I'm moving.
Crikey.
I know. Moving forward. Anyway.
Yeah.
I do find I use Siri a lot more if I'm out and about to write a text message, but it needs the internet because otherwise it won't find the words. So if the internet's dropped off, you can't use it.
Do you reckon that I have a crazy prediction? I'm going to go for a crazy prediction.
Cool.
I'm going to say that 5G is going to be a massive success. No, that's
really putting yourself out there.
That's no prediction. Okay, that's a given. But because Apple are not coming out till 2020, they're a bit unsure about their 5G. Guess who's going to come back?
Nokia.
Yeah. Nokia going to come back because everyone. Let's be fair, we all love our iPhones, but you can only be king of the hill for so long. Nokia are going to come back.
Like a 3310E.
Don't know what it is, but it'll be something good. And
maybe the Matrix style Ericsson.
Yeah.
Good prediction, Lee.
Banana phone. Anyway,
Watch that space.
That's my prediction. Nokia are going to come back, smash it.
They're still sniffing around Nokia, but they're doing more the back end tech as opposed to a handset now. They're doing baby monitors now.
Yes.
It's amazing.
I have one of those.
It's amazing how companies go sideways. And you never thought, well, why have they got into that market? Like, it's just odd. You can imagine Nokia getting into sort of like thermostats next and all sorts of other strange stuff that you just wouldn't expect them to get into. When
I think John Lewis has got a good product listing of all their Nokia stuff.
Because don't Nokia do watches as well?
Yeah. You do a smartwatch.
It's
Yeah.
They do a great smartwatch. It looks quite nice.
They're just strange how they just almost disappeared out of the mobile market simply because
They were a
Apple
bit slow to
catalogues-
react, weren't they, I think?
Well, yeah, but anyway, I suppose we get off topic.
Yeah.
So that's 5G this week. Anybody else want to cover anything else this week? Anything going on BJ Towers we want to cover whilst we're here?
Well, we're getting ready for Christmas, aren't we?
are
As
gearing
you can
up for-
tell.
We're gearing up. Yes. Holly is not here today. She's, as you can see,
She's prepped it
She's
nicely.
prepped it lovely. She's here in spirit. She's had to fly out to Los Angeles because there's some Christmas party going on in some building. Or something.
She lives a rock and roll lifestyle.
She does have Holly Gennaro. So
And I think the only other thing we can say is next week's episode. The next episode is the year in review, isn't it? Quite a big episode.
next week we are doing the year in review.
Yeah, big episode.
episode
We're
47.
going to be reviewing everything that BDA have done, and not only BDA, but everything that we've seen in the industry that we think has been done particularly well. So it's just basically a highlight reel
Yeah,
of the year.
Massive episode.
So yeah, you might even make that back for your a second show.
Well, no, I've seen the listing and I'm not included.
You're not included in that one.
Around me your familiar face.
It's all good.
Hopefully, Holly will put some like sad violin music on there.
That's awkward. That.
Yeah.
Am I coming back?
Yeah,
Do I
Jay.
need to- do I need another
Yeah, Jay.
Yeah.
Another tech list, did you say?
Tech list.
Oh.
What did you say?
Bit lockjaw.
Anyway, thank you for joining. Why do I always go there? It's got some sort of brain issue. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. Please reach out to us on our usual social media channels of Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Until next week, this is episode 46 saying goodbye, and we shall see you all next week for the year review. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Where are you going to put that?
Put that on.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Does that feel off?
Yeah, should do.
To be
Just
fair,
probably to get it off again, but
should we put it in the hatch? I'll take that home and stick that on the Christmas bill. I'll get the paper.
Cover up the apple.
that'll probably stick enough. That'll be enough. Otherwise, I won't be able to get it off.
You're so pedantic.
That'll do. Otherwise, I
You'll
won't be
get
able
it
to
off. You'll get it off. Trust me. Bloody sticker.